All right, I got a question for you guys. Either you guys have a wheelbarrow.
I do not have a wheelbarrow.
Not for 25 years. Had one.
Well, because all the bucket of stuff we're going to be pouring out today, I think I'm going to need one. This episode.
I'll help you assemble your wheelbarrow.
Thanks.
You got a pickup truck now, so that's good.
I do, for all these projects we're going to be doing, and that's going to be our topic for today. What do you think about that?
I like it. Projects. Good.
All right. Welcome to Retirement Rules.
Retirement Rules. A lighthearted discussion about the unwritten and made-up rules of retirement from three guys who recently retired and are still figuring it out.
So I'm Alex, your host, with my co-hosts here, Steve and Jeff.
What's up?
How are you guys?
And today, as we just mentioned, our topic is going to be on projects. And not just any projects, but retirement projects. We all have stuff that we work on, whether they're big projects like things you're doing around the house or big projects. We all have different projects, but it changes when in retirement, I think. At least when I got retired, it's like, and everybody seems, if people I talk to say the same thing, it's like, when I retire, I got this big old list of things to be doing, as part of their projects. And everybody has this list of stuff they had to be doing. And so I think when you're coming to retirement, you have this list of things that you've been wanting to do, but you just haven't had the time to do because you're working, whether that's painting a bathroom or whether that's, working on, fixing up a car or something like that. So as I was thinking about projects, the reason I was asking for the wheelbarrow is I do have a project where I've got to do some mulching around the house. It needed to be done for a long time.
Inside or outside the house?
Outside the house.
Excellent question.
I like to do mulching inside the house.
It'd be weird, but
Yeah.
probably been done before.
That smell of bark.
Yeah, I love the smell of bark in the morning.
Musty.
That bark.
Yeah.
That bark smell.
Yeah. So anyway, that is one of my projects that I have on my list that's now I need to be doing. So I don't know, Jeff, what have you noticed in retirement as far as the types of projects you're doing? How's it been different for you?
Well, I did have the practice retirement during COVID, and I definitely prioritized like I was going to clean one of the outside lights, and there are two of them that are identical.
Well, that's
And
going to take hours.
Oh, but I went so overboard. I repainted them. I cleaned all the glass.
You
got
went
new bulbs.
OCD. You went OCD.
Yeah. And I mean, it was all, I had the paint here and all that sort of stuff. So did a great job. And I'm like, feeling puffy chested and ready to go and do some more. And then it kind of fizzled out. But
The
Was
light,
that- was
the
that
light
your-
fizzled out, or
was
the
that-
project did?
the light and the project, that
Good
particular
point.
one was done. And, but my momentum of desiring to do a bunch of projects were, I was kind of concerned about money at that point. So
Was that your first project in retirement? In other words,
no,
as I
that
mentioned-
was
in
during
COVID
yeah.
retirement.
the COVID retirement. Okay.
Right. So it was
Listeners
like a
out
practice
there,
run.
listen to what we're saying. Unlike Alex, who's not listening. Let's keep going.
He's so no,
I listen to what Jeff says half the time. That just happened to be the half I don't listen to.
half the words or just half the time.
So that was your practice retirement. What was your
Yeah.
first retirement project then in real retirement?
So I replaced the cabin and engine air filter on my car. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but with all these plastic snap things, it used to be like undo a wig nut and put in another air filter. And there was cabin filters never existed when I was young and working on cars. And now it's like, wait, what part of the engine is this? So basically, YouTube video, and I know how to do it. And I, saved probably $100.
Yeah, there you go. Now, what about you, Steve? I know you said you're maybe not a big type of project guy, but what was your first thing in retirement that you remember doing in retirement now that you're retired? Something you were working on or wanted to work
I
on?
would say just having time to like clean out, all the paperwork and everything up in the office, and filing. Here's your insurance paperwork, and here's your financial statements, and here's stuff that we can toss. We don't need this anymore. That seemed to go on quite a while because it had accumulated over 15 years or more.
So you're organizing papers with your socks, or are those two
Socks are
separate projects?
Separate drawers.
Separate drawers.
Oh, and the drawers
Yeah.
are in a different drawer too.
The sock drawer, that was a whole different. I mean, I had to order sock clips. That was a great. You can get those on eBay or Amazon. Different colors based upon the different color of sock. But project would, and now that becomes still a quarterly project that seems to pop up to go through.
Yeah, you do it quarterly. That's impressive.
Yeah, and then
So socks,
There's
many
other
more times than
Right.
papers.
socks.
Like a weekly thing for socks, it sounds like.
It's a weekly thing, yeah. But you wear them all the time. I do, anyway.
And you organize them all the time, it sounds like.
Well, yeah. I mean, they are constantly needing their pair.
Have you ever considered just getting one color of sock? So every pair goes together and every pair goes wherever in the sock drawer?
Oh, boy, no, I haven't considered that. I seem to
That's
find
for
the
free.
need to have navy socks, and black socks, and white long socks, and footies. There's a big sock family out there. Yeah, in my sock drawer anyway.
So, Jeff, you mentioned, though, like, I'm guessing you didn't have to YouTube how to organize your sock. Or did you YouTube how to
No,
organize your
I
sock
probably
drawer?
should make a YouTube. That would be actually a project.
That would be a good project.
Yeah.
Put on
Get-
YouTube.
I'd get dozens of views.
Oh, I think you get at least 4 or 5.
Probably.
It wouldn't,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
at least
Jeff.
4.
It wouldn't be a Jeff.
I'd watch it twice.
I don't think we would watch, but
No.
I think others.
I'd
might
start it
watch
up for sure. See, I thought he was kidding.
Yeah, I think so. But you mentioned, Jeff, you watched YouTube to do a project.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's a great tool. I think I've come up with as well too. The other day, I guess it's been a couple weeks now. First,
Was it you?
my washer broke down, and so I'm like, okay, it wasn't really broken down, but it wasn't
How are you going to
working
wash your
correctly.
socks?
Exactly,
I'd see.
and that
Hello,
was
Steve.
that was one of the problems I had. Like, how am I going to wash my socks? And so I called a repair guy out there, and he fixed it, but it was like half the cost of a brand new washer.
Holy smokes.
Right. And it's like, oh my gosh, to do that. It's like, and so then
See, I got
Sure
a
enough.
handyman for you. Geez. I
it's
could've
still,
helped you.
because the parts themselves were like several $100 or
Yeah.
$400 or $500, just those silly parts. And so then my dryer went out like a month later. And so I'm like, okay.
I am not spending.
I can do this with YouTube. So I went on YouTube, found out how to get it done, found the part on Amazon, then my living room had the whole dryer apart.
That's a lot of fun.
And then put it back together.
I'm sure
but
your
it,
wife loved
but
that.
it worked. Well, she is, because the dryer works. So it's so that was one of my retirement projects. I do think YouTube is like one of those tools you have to have in your toolbox.
Absolutely. My first experience with, the YouTube victory, I had an old dryer that the light would not, or it wouldn't, when the door closed, the light stayed on or it didn't go on.
The light was on and nobody's home.
Kind of. So basically, you could close the door, but it didn't acknowledge that it was closed, so you couldn't run the dryer. And through
It had a
YouTube,
mind
I
of its own, didn't it?
narrowed down what the issue was, and then I bought the part for like less than $2 on Amazon. And then another YouTube video shows me how to replace it, and voila, $2. I was thinking, it's again the puppy chest.
Thank you.
I have accomplished
Thank
this.
you, YouTube.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you, well, I'll ask you this, Steve. Have you had a project that you've done that has gone wrong and said, I should have called a professional? Or when do you know to call a professional?
When you say we,
Yeah. Yeah.
we So my wife has a wonderful I can do anything attitude and home improvement. So we had to restain our front door because it had become weathered and wet. And,
Right.
And I think originally the wrong stain was put on it. So she, she got it in her mind that she was going to restain the front door. Well, this project that was supposed to take 2 days stretched over, I think, 4 beautiful weekends over a month. And definitely, my frustration level at some point was, why didn't we hire somebody to do this? This is
Who knows how
a
to do
lot,
it?
right?
I bet you did go to YouTube.
There wasn't a YouTube option for sanding down and restaining your front exterior door.
There is now.
So,
Yeah. It's
you know,
theirs.
that would be definitely one
His wife posted it after.
that I did broach that topic with the wife, and afterwards she's like, "Yeah, probably you're right. Next time."
But now she's learned, so she's an expert.
She learned that it took her a long time to do, for sure, but it turned out great. But it took an awful long time.
Now, what about you,
It
Jeff?
burned up a lot of days.
Have you had a project that's failed? And then when do you know to call in a professional?
Pull the plug.
Yeah. So,
Or at least even the beginning. Maybe you realize this is more than I could probably take on.
yeah. If it's more than I take on, then it's like
But how do you
Just
know what that is?
get a pro.
It's like when you have YouTube, how do you know
Yeah,
you can
well,
take on anything?
after watching the video, yeah. No, so I feel fairly comfortable with like painting, woodworking, plumbing.
I should have you come over and do the door next time.
Right. I think you found your new door stain guy,
Yeah.
Steve.
How you would like a belt sander? Good.
I don't have one, but sure.
Yeah. Well.
So
I know a
here's
place you can get one.
one of those like I feel like I should have realized. Well, actually, my toilet was not flushing, and I figured, oh, there must be an obstruction. So snake it, wind up pulling it off, snaking the pipe down below,
It's called a hole. Yeah.
snake in the hole, and then I'm trying to it must be in the toilet itself, and I have the toilet out on the front yard, so I'm sure I was violating some sort of HOA
HOA code.
Yeah.
CC&R.
rules and regs.
Right.
No outhouses.
And a friend comes walking by with his dog.
And he needs to go to the bathroom.
Hey, can I borrow your bathroom? No, he says, what we do is we put CLR in the toilet tank overnight,
Oh, not a good thing.
and it is a great thing. And then after it soaks for about 12 hours, then 12 hours, then
It's a sign.
it clears out all the calcium buildup or whatever kind of buildup we get here in our chunky style water, and flush like brand new again. And
Shit through a goose, basically. Just right out.
I would never have come up with that, but yes.
Wow.
So yeah, it might eat up the flapper valve thing.
And the pipes.
Those are free.
Well, you can.
but what that
you
do is
can-
bring in a
you-
professional, though.
Well, I was about ready to because
Oh, you were about to, but you didn't do it.
yeah, but my friend came by and
Got
said,
it. Got it.
So there's probably a YouTube video on how to use CLR to clear out your toilet clog.
and
I should
interesting enough,
probably
it's
or
by
repl-
CLR.
or replace the flapper valve that you just burned up with the toxic nature of the CLR on the rubber.
It's possible.
But that's
toxic is all relative.
Yeah.
If it doesn't
Not all.
kill you, it makes you stronger, I believe.
So for your projects, then you kind of evaluate the situation by situation to determine whether or not. I mean, you said that there's some things you know right away you don't know you would bring in somebody to do it. Like, what would that be?
Electrical beyond like changing a light bulb. Although I've added an outlet, but it just plumbing isn't going to kill you, but guessing wrong on electricity will.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I avoid that.
might not kill you.
It could.
Right. Not the
Could too
first
if it was
time.
gas, I guess. If you were doing,
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
I've done gas projects and I've done electrical projects.
Well, you worked for a gas company, so that's only.
And
that
electric
makes it
company.
easier.
You retired. You're retired from a gas
Were
company.
you forced to retire?
I mean,
Yeah, after I did that last project.
You're just like, hey, that's probably enough.
But your project, Steve, you mentioned like, your wife is a do-it-yourselfer. So, because one of the things that also happens in retirement, whether you're female or male, that you get a honey-do list.
Yes.
So, did you get a honey-do list, Steve, when you retired? Did you have a honey-do list, or did she have
It's
her
like-
own honey-do list? And you gave her a honey-do list.
She's just like, oh, I've been waiting for so long for you to retire.
I know
Here you
you're
go.
still working, honey, but
I
here's
would-
things that I need you to do.
yeah, I wouldn't say we have a last week we talked about our bucket list. That's actually a formal list that we'll update consistently. The honeydew list, as you're referring to it, or project list, kind of just happens sporadically, just as demand, comes up. I wouldn't say I've got a formal honeydew list of, this, that, and the other stuff
Does
that needs to be done.
somebody else have a honeydew list for you?
Maybe, but I haven't seen it.
We can make one for you.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
I get suggestions on occasion, but
You listen to them, or just ignore them.
the voices come, I listen. Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, sometimes it's like, you think we should ever do this? And I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
So
And
is that a hint or is that a demand?
that is a suggestion, I'll just say. And
Okay. Strong suggestion.
that's probably a great way of doing it for me. Knowing how I
Operate.
like a stronger suggestion might be not accepted well. And
So
less
your
of
wife knows how to get through to you.
Oh, is that who we're talking about? Yeah.
I'm talking about your girlfriend.
Yeah. Not this time.
That was last episode.
Right. No, like we did we added some rocks and plants to our front yard scape. And it was kind of in a state of transition from what it used to be to it was in a state of what's going on here. And I couldn't come up with a concept, and with my wife's help, we came up with a concept and executed, and it looks great, or looks a lot better. And that was great.
So I got a question for both of you guys.
Uh-oh.
Do you have? It sounds like it's a co-project concept.
List?
Like, do you have carte blanche on some of your projects to be like, do whatever you want, honey, it's okay? Or is there always oversight, input, and
Oh, that's a great question.
cost evaluation, et cetera, et cetera?
I wouldn't say it. There's always input, and I guess some discussion. Like here's another project for you. We just our kitchen faucet all of a sudden started having low pressure. Yeah, maybe it didn't all of a sudden, but over time it went to very low pressure. And looked on YouTube and found out all the things to do aside from replace it. I did.
I would give it a bath in CLR. It sounds like.
Could have been.
You've just given Steve like the elixir of everything. Fix of
CLR.
everything.
And you don't take a
He's
Clear-
gonna, he's gonna
cleans
put
me
CLR in everything now.
you don't have to
Cleans
drink the
me out,
entire
too.
thing, but yeah, no. So then you run into some faucets companies have lifetime warranties, and this one, sure enough, did. But they wanted me to jump through some more hoops of testing and seeing what else they could replace instead of replacing the faucet. But it came down to getting a free faucet. But then I had to put it in.
So Jen had to give you input for that.
Well, I made sure that The new one, which looked pretty much the same as the old one, was okay for.
You checked in on that was your check-in. It sounds.
Well,
like
she was
Or
also
the
informing
dual
me
part
of the constantly decreasing pressure of the.
so it identified the problem.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, like I have like the dryer one, the one that I just mentioned to you. That was like no input other than, are you sure you're able to do this and be safe about it?
And why is it sitting in our front room?
Yeah.
So I would say that I had carte blanche on that one. It's like, yeah, just get it fixed. The preference would have been I call a professional on that one from her perspective. But I figured, I think this is something I could handle after watching the video.
Yeah. Water's not that
And
deep.
and
Like
so
you get-
right, and so I did it, and she didn't provide any input on that. But if it's something to do, like I mentioned, the mulching project, where it's aesthetics around the house,
Mhm.
there's going to be some input on what that mulch is going to look like and where it's going to go.
Yeah. I cannot pick paint colors.
Oh no, I can't even.
I can't pick art.
Nope,
I can't pick decor.
nope.
So basically, anything inside the house
Right.
that other people are going to see, I have no decision making.
Neither do I.
And the exterior of the house, I don't have a lot of decision making there.
Neither do I.
So I'm pretty much left to like the garage. Like whatever I want to do is the garage.
I get
Which-
half the input on the garage.
For you out there in Podcastville land, our listeners,
Stake your claim.
we live here in areas where we don't have basements, but our garages are the equivalent of basements in other areas of the country. So
I think
anyway, I have no, so therefore, yeah, I'm completely at her timing and whim of,
I see.
I think what
the
we could do is
duration of that project.
help you dig a basement, and then you could have full domain over that.
If you want to try that, I'd like to see that work. That'd be fun.
So last question.
at your
then,
house,
Then,
it would be a
then we got to
practice
wrap
run.
this one up. But last then question. So for our listeners who are maybe new to retirement or about to retire, what's the one advice you'd give them about projects and how to tackle their project list?
So
Because I know some people get overwhelmed. Because people I've talked to, it's like, one, they get overwhelmed and that's all they're kind of doing. Two, they burn through their project list and then they're just bored and have nothing, they have anything to do. So what would be, let's start with you, Steve, then. What would you say your advice would be for somebody who's retiring and how they should handle their projects?
Well, in retirement now, you've got all this extra time. We talked about it in our first episode with schedules, right? So, because you have all that extra time, there is an element certainly in, like, I've got a project I'm going to get one of my perimeter fences painted. Well, that's been on my project list now for over a year. It's one of those things where, I'll get to it next week. It's not me even doing it. I got to hire a guy, but
And you got to get your wife's input.
I got her. Well,
It's pretty it's gonna be a color, right?
pretty easy.
Right.
I know the color.
It's going to be a color.
I know
Do you
that.
really?
But
It's maybe not the right shade of black, Steve.
Could be. But yeah, I think the guidance would be, you do have to continue to plug along on it because days, tick off if you don't, tick off the calendar if you don't keep plugging away on it.
If
Jeff.
you wait, then you could probably just replace the whole fence.
Which is what we already did. That's why it needs to be painted.
Ah,
The new fence.
in there.
What about you, Jeff?
Use YouTube and use the right tools.
That's-
Those are my top. Because using I can use these pliers use the right tools.
Nope.
No.
I think for me, it's kind of what you were saying, Steve. It's about pacing yourself. Because one thing, like when you're not retired, you're constantly like feeling like under the gun, right? I got to get this done. I only have this weekend to do it. I got this weekend to do it, right? And so you're always feeling that pressure of need to get it done. Versus, like you said, in retirement world, it's like, which we keep saying that retirement rules.
It does rule.
So if you really want it to rule, then you've got to like make sure that you have time to enjoy yourself and don't just like feel, oh, I've got all this pressure to get everything off my list crossed off like you do when you're working. you can pace yourself and do that project next year. Certainly you want to get it done, right? And so I think it's having the amount of time to be able to, think, oh, I can do this project, but I don't have to do it today or this hour because I've got some fun stuff I'd rather be doing this time or other obligations that you have.
Yeah, and separating projects from chores, right? Those are
Right.
two different things.
So let's kind of summarize a rule here. And I didn't hear the grandfather clock go off, but let's just pretend it did.
Clang, clang.
Thanks, Jeff. So I like what you said, Jeff, about the having YouTube. So I think having YouTube is like our power tool in our toolbox is part of our rule, and then also knowing when to call in a pro, so you don't end up being on a funniest videos part of YouTube.
A man's got to know his
What
limitations.
went wrong? You'd get a lot of, I'm sure, views by that, but probably not the ones that you want. And then also, we want to keep our project list, enough to where we can actually get things done without, feeling that, that we can't accomplish something. What do you guys think? Something like that in the rule?
Yes, and use the right tools, but I think that is good.
Yeah,
Words to
knowing
live
when
by.
to bail out, call in a pro.
Yeah, YouTube is your power tool, and then we'll just call the pros, avoid being embarrassed.
Yeah.
And then also, let's keep that project list tight enough so we can actually get something finished. Done?
Makes sense.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Steve, why don't you tell everybody how
thanks
to reach
for
us?
all the listeners out there. Please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at Retirement Rules for You, X at Retirement Rules for You, and on Facebook, and share this podcast with somebody that that's retired or looking to retire. And please send us any questions, comments, or topics for rules that you would like us to possibly cover or address in one of our future podcasts. Thanks for listening.
All right. And our projects for today then is to figure out how to come up with our next episode. So we'll put that on the project list. Thanks for
We got the
listening.
right tools.
If it includes choosing colors or paintings for the wall, I can't make that decision.
Just watch
It's
YouTube.
very clear.
And that's
We're
a
in
wrap.